the kind of thing there'll be live streaming going on around the world of this competition. People watching in from the Falklands, from the Argentine, Chile, North America, Australia, New Zealand, because some of these guys will be competing against them in the World Champs. Going to be held in France next year. This is the start of their qualifying year, so there'll be a lot of friendship before you get up on that board, but they'll all be vying for a place in their home team. Michael Churchouse has been in the UK for about 20 years. Just took up blade shearing a couple of years ago and has really taken to it. Took a bit of a field trip out to Australia last year for the blade shearing competitions out there, the speed shears. He was travelling with Alan Oldfield, who'd won the title here for a couple of times. Both of them were out there frightening the machine shearers because they were blade shearing sheep in around a minute. And it looks like he's still got some of that pace to him today. He's now based down in Devon, was up in Bedford before, runs a sheep show. So if you've got a public event and you want shearing and some entertainment, he's your man. Down number 2, Robin, down from North Wales, runs a few sheep of his own, also works with the Welsh Environment type agency, I believe. I'm not sure of the terminology.
MI6.
MI5, or MI6 is it? Is he a Russian agent? We don't know. There's a double cut. Jan, down there on stand number 3. He won the intermediate last autumn. If you win your section, you move on to the classification above. Robin won the intermediate season before. I think Michael was an intermediate season before that, the first competition here. Not sure, the memory's fading in the blur of wool. We're just over the 3 minutes, so similar pace to the second heat. Lovely fleece coming off of there, all the fleeces handled individually, sorted individually, so that they can be assessed whether they're good enough quality for hand spinners, or they'll be incorporated into making cloth or spun up for knitting yarn. It's where we're trying to push this project at Fernhill Farm. These sheep are a Romney Cross Shetland, so they've got the Shetland fineness and really soft handle of wool, and they've got the Romney weight of wool. Both those breeds give excellent maternal ewes, which have a good lambing percentage and can survive well on these Mendip hills. They've had a very hard winter on them. As I said, I think it's felt like it's just either rained or snowed or had frost. We're grateful to all the farmers where we graze our sheep over the winter months. That helps our flock of sheep. Hopefully that helps their farming system by tidying up their excess grassland so it can grow again well in the spring.
Don't get strung out.
Have many of you been out to see the hedge lane? Is it good? Are they doing that speed hedge lane stuff? where you got guys out there just with a single on going flat out, laying hedges. Well, that's going to keep the commentator quiet, isn't it? There's 700 ewes we're going to be lambing here through April, and then we've got another 1200 we'll be lambing through May. We've moved our lambing season right back. Hopefully the grass is going to be growing by then, by May. I don't think it's going to be growing too much in April, not at the beginning anyway. But daylight is getting longer. I'll remind myself that the clocks are changing. Clocks are changing tonight, is that right?
We get an hour longer to party.
Yeah, I think that could be the trouble.
Don't be negative.
We won't move the clocks till next week. We'll play mend it rules. So we reckon even above and beyond hedge laying, because your trees don't jump around when you're trying to lay them. Shearing is one of the most competitive jobs, a sport you can do. You've got a very sharp thing, you've got a body, and then you've got a sheep. And you've got to bring all three together. I can't remember the word, Michael, was it synchronicity? Something like that. But the reason is to gain that ultimate fibre, wool. I was telling those folk earlier, if you've got synthetics on, you are part of the root cause of what's destroying the planet. Get rid of all those synthetics, buy wool, don't even think about it, just do it. Send all your polyesters and your synthetics back to the manufacturers and buy wool. Full stop. That's good, you all must agree. I didn't hear anybody arguing. Michael's just coming towards the end of his second. He's slowed right up. Must be the age creeping in on him. Robin, chomp, chomp, out that back leg. Jan's flying down the last side too. He's doing exceptionally well. He's been over for a couple of days training with us, helping get some of our sheep shorn. That's a nice little woolly one you got there, Michael.
What do you think? I saved it for last.
The best to last.
Yeah.
Now, better not be like the cider drinking later then. Well, we've had a lot of apprentice shearers up here this morning. There was a Brazilian fella who had a go. He'd never seen a sheep before, and then about 10 minutes later he's having a go shearing. That was brilliant. We had a 6-year-old having a go, and that's what this Fernhill gathering, blade shearing. There was a young fella last year who saw that sheepdog thing and he wanted to go. He didn't have a dog, so he ran around the sheep and gathered them up. We thought that was pretty good. I'm not sure if you can have a go at the hedge laying, but I'm sure if you go and have a look at the axes and hooks they're working with, it's probably one of them jobs. A little bit of coaching wouldn't go amiss as well. But it's another job that's essential on the farm. All our hedges have been laid once before up here, or between 20 and 15 years ago, and they're all ready for being laid again. That creates a real thick hedge, which gives the sheep a bit of shelter when they're lambing. Each hedge is fenced about 1 metre either side, so it creates an environmental zone where wildlife can live. It's a bit like Michael's hairstyle. It's an environmental zone.
You've never seen a sheep run through it, have you?
Concentrate, we might do in a minute. No, there's a comment there, sheep will be out in the field because we're shearing them with blades. You're leaving the grease and we're leaving kind of 10 to 15 mil of wool on that sheep, and that will, like you, on the, when you start feeling any cold you'll get like goose pimples, so all your fibres will stand on end. That will happen with these sheep within about the next 10 minutes, so they'll have a thick layer of wool all over them, they'll have the lanolin left on them, and they will, the scientists have so say proven, I don't know how far you follow scientists, but they will cope down to -12. Hopefully it doesn't hit -12 tonight. The Menditz is an unusual place. They'll be put out in a field that will have lots of feed and lots of shelter. So we were shearing 400 back at the beginning of March. They ran out, and I do get concerned. I go and have a look at them and they just seem to sit their heads down, eat and enjoy themselves. You leave big heavy coats on a sheep when it's pouring down with rain and you can look at them out in the field and they just look bedraggled and damp and wet. They are tough animals. As long as they got the right amount of feed, they'll eat, their metabolism will heat them up and keep them warm. So we're just moving to the end of this 3 sheep. The time at the moment is just over the 12 minutes. John, our judge, is just moving through. He'll inspect all the sheep. He's been watching the shears as they process, and he's been watching the fleeces come off of the boards to see if there's masses of second cuts. These shearers can't get away with anything. 12:30. That'll be probably about 13-14 sheep an hour. I'll do. 100 a day. See Louisa working around that fleece on the table there, skirting it, taking out any colour markings. All the bits with colour sprays on we use for making pegloom rugs, as shown towards the back of the shed. That's right, Seth. Robin's just putting in the final couple of blows there. That's 13:30. And Jan's only got the back leg to go on his, and he'll be completed. Next up, if your novices are ready to have another go,